G'day guys. I'll wait for this guy. Taking off. Bloody cool. I'm at Jandakot Airport. And the reason I'm here is to go and have a chat with the Royal Flying Doctor Service. Maybe have a look at one of the jets. Look at some of the gear they use. Look at some of the ways that they're helping us out there as four-wheel drivers, as campers, as travellers. You know, as you're sort of getting around the state.
My name is Craig Spencer. I'm the General Manager of Strategy and Performance here at Royal Flying Doctors in WA. Guys, just to give you a sense, this is our PC-12, so the Pilatus PC-12 jet. It's sponsored by Rio Tinto. It's the Life Flight jet, and we're very grateful for their support. This is our newest aircraft. We have two of these, Kimberley and Victory, the two aircraft. One's based here at Jandakot, one's in Broome. They're a $14 million bit of kit, so we get them as a executive jet, strip the guts out of them, and transform them into an emergency ward in the sky, basically. The reassuring thing for you guys, if you need help from us and we come and pick up one of our aircraft, either these PC-12 jets or the PC-12 turboprops, once you're inside, the level of care you're going to get is the same as you'll get in any intensive care unit within Perth. One of the challenges we all face in WA is that all of our tertiary or main hospitals are in Perth, so if anyone's injured or ill outside of the Perth metro area, we're going to come and get you, and we're going to bring you back to one of the major hospitals. But the reassuring thing is once you're inside the aircraft, you've got doctors and nurses that have got the highest levels of skill, the same sort of skills they have within an emergency hospital ward, and so this is the sort of level of care you're going to get. All the gear we've got has got to be identical in each and every aircraft. It's got to be incredibly robust. It's got to be battery operated. It's got to be able to come off the aircraft, go to a scene, and then come back. And obviously when we take the patients off the aircraft, the transport from aircraft to ambulance, the need to maintain airways, monitoring, etc. So everything we've got is miniaturized, robust, battery operated, and bloody expensive.
So, welcome to engineering. All the work on these jets is done here in Jandakot. So for any of you that are interested in mechanical sorts of things, the team here are bloody good at what they do. So with all maintenance and service times down to 1.2 hours per aircraft. If there's any faults reported in the aircraft, they get pulled off the line, brought in here, fixed, repaired in-house and sent back as soon as possible. Because with the 18 aircraft here that have done 7.8 million kilometres last year and an average of 23 retrievals every single day. Every one of these aircraft is needed. And by the time they are sent back out into service, there's no room for spare parts or tools on board. There's only room for things that are 100% essential for either saving lives or the flight itself.
So the RFDS medical chest, within Western Australia we have 580 active medical chests, and they're through all the remote pastoral stations, tourist sites, national parks, offshore cruise ships, and mining companies have them as well. Within that chest there is about 180 items, from a simple bandage all the way up through your high-end painkilling into your morphine. There's a large range of antibiotics in there. So what actually happens is, if you're out in remote Western Australia and you're ill or you're injured, you phone our 1-800 number. Our doctor will then try and treat you out of a medical chest. If you don't have a chest, they'll guide you to the closest medical chest, and then they'll start what we call a remote consult. So they'll be treating you over the phone. They'll determine what your needs are, whether it might be that you've got a chest infection and you may need an antibiotic. Then he'll prescribe the correct antibiotic out of the chest. And then, as though you're going to your pharmacy, you're then given how many to take and how to take it, and the drugs are handed over to you. And hopefully you're on the road again.
Get a call, and it could either come directly from an individual, it could come from, and most often comes from a regional hospital or nursing post, or occasionally will come through from AAA if someone's had a roadside accident. Our clinical coordinator, who is a highly experienced doctor, will work with whoever's on the other end of the phone to do a clinical assessment and determine priority and immediate care requirements. That prioritisation will then go to operations coordinators, and their task will be to coordinate based on the priority the closest aircraft and medical crew that can attend to do the retrieval and to bring the person either back to care at a regional hospital, or most often to return them to Perth for tertiary care.
So these are all the road landing strips, and most of you guys would have seen them or seen the big sign saying RFDS emergency airstrip, and these are around the place. Most areas with no other local airstrips, and they're oftentimes on slightly wider parts of the road. So they tend not to use these ones because they draw a bit of an audience, and no one likes an audience while they're trying to land a plane in an emergency. So I guess the last thing I want to talk about is the important ways that you can get in contact with the RFDS. So oftentimes they will be contacted themselves through 000 or by one of the regional hospitals. If you present to them, if you turn up sick or hurt or whatever. But the other way not many people know about is this 1-800 number here. And I'll put that up on the screen again if you can't see that, and in the description below. But they've given me a bunch of these stickers. So we'll give them out as much as we can. You flick me a message, and I'll meet up with a lot of guys anyway from Worm 4x4. So there's also the details of HF radio down there, a Selcall number, and the idea is if you have these numbers and not just saved, like locked into your phone, so definitely keep this number handy. Hopefully you don't have to use it. Huge thank you to the Royal Flying Doctor Service for all the work that you're doing, and we've seen a lot of behind the scenes stuff that people don't normally see, and it's huge, and it's a huge relief knowing that when we go out to travel, you're covered. If something happens within a couple of hours, you can be picked up if need be. You can be evacuated back to Perth to one of the emergency hospitals, and you don't have to pay for it. So that's why these guys rely on donations from public companies like Rio Tinto sponsoring, on the 4-wheel drive clubs, on things like the Gibb River Challenge. But you guys can as well, everyone can. So that's down in the description. I'll put the link for everything. Yeah, and that's it. Take it easy, guys. Thanks for watching.